The Miami Heat, as constructed, are expected to be a dark horse in the East. While this is promising, they're still likely to face an uphill battle against some of the juggernauts in the conference. In this regard, it is expected that the Heat may not perceive themselves as a title-contending team yet, per NBA insider Tim Bontemps. Instead, the franchise, like many other teams, may opt to make some big moves in the 2027 free agency to transform into true contenders. Bontemps explored this notion on the Hoop Collective podcast and said, "I would say the Heat now are waiting to see if they can get a player that is better than Bam Adebayo. The reason I say the summer of 2027? That's when Giannis Antetokounmpo is a free agent. Nikola Jokic could be a free agent. That's when Donovan Mitchell could be a free agent. That's when a lot of these guys could be available." I think the Heat are probably going to sit in that space. I think this is about biding your time, rebuilding their asset base, acknowledging that despite the fact that they had a really good 5-year run, where they made the conference finals 3 times and the finals a couple of times, they aren't really a championship-level team and had to do some sort of reset. Bontemps admitted that the Heat haven't resorted to tanking, unlike some other teams. But they haven't necessarily become a dominant force in the East either. In this regard, waiting for the 2027 free agency period may be in their best interest. With some names already mentioned, we explore the best possible targets for the Heat in this time frame. Giannis Antetokounmpo. One name that is bound to jump out in these situations is Giannis Antetokounmpo. After all the offseason trade drama involving him and the Milwaukee Bucks, there is a growing likelihood that the superstar's time with the Bucks is coming to an end. Among the several teams Antetokounmpo was linked with this offseason, the Heat were presented as one of the favorites to land him. Given the franchise's mentality and culture, the notion of a robust talent like Antetokounmpo joining the team is certainly appealing. Antetokounmpo remains one of the most dominant players in the league. His consistent performances continue to see him mentioned in MVP conversations. Last season was no different, as he recorded an average of 30.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 6.5 assists per game. The trade rumors linking the Greek star to the Heat eventually died down, as he displayed a loyalty to the franchise, expressing his intentions to remain with the team. However, there is no guarantee about what will happen once the free agency window opens in 2027. It is important to note that Antetokounmpo will have a $62.8 million player option available to him for the 2027-28 season, implying that he would only become a free agent if he opts out of this deal. Given that Andrew Wiggins and Tyler Herro are expected to be unrestricted free agents in 2027, the Heat could have the money required to pursue Antetokounmpo as well. Donovan Mitchell. Another interesting candidate for the Heat to pursue in 2027 would be Cleveland Cavaliers star Donovan Mitchell. Although there haven't been too many trade rumors involving him, as a free agent, Miami could certainly benefit from signing him. Mitchell's acquisition would effectively signal their rise as a superpower in the East. With Herro and Mitchell, Miami could boast one of the most dynamic and versatile starting backcourt pairings in the league. Mitchell's partnership with Darius Garland has been noteworthy. But last season, Herro showcased what he could bring to the table. Given his skill set, there is some scope for Mitchell to be more effective next to Tyler Herro. Last season, the Cavaliers guard was in the MVP discussion as well, finishing 5th in overall rankings. He put up an average of 24.0 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.0 assists, while shooting 44.3% from the field and 36.8% from three-point range. Mitchell's availability in the free agency market could be heavily dependent upon Cleveland's performance next season, along with its cap management approach. Given that they have struggled to shed salary this offseason, the Cavs may not be able to create a better team to contend for a title for the 2026-27 season. The upcoming season could be a win-or-bust one, and if things go wrong, Mitchell and some of the other key players may find themselves on the way out. Trey Young. Atlanta Hawks star Trey Young could also prove to be an intriguing target for the Heat in 2027. Given Young's current contract situation with the Hawks, there exists a possibility that he may opt out of his $48.9 million player option to enter free agency next season. But if he doesn't, he will be an unrestricted free agent in 2027. Signing Young could add a lot of versatility to Miami's roster. Although their defensive identity would take a hit, the 26-year-old guard would effectively transform Miami's offense. In some ways, the four-time All-Star could be viewed as an upgrade to Herro. While doing virtually everything Herro is capable of doing, Young is a far more capable playmaker and passer, even emerging as the league's leader in assists last season. Young has established himself as one of the best pick-and-roll playmakers in the league, often bringing out the best in the big men he is paired with. The notion of pairing Young with Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware may be viewed quite favorably by Miami, especially considering their athleticism. Last season, the Hawks guard recorded an average of 24.2 points and 11.6 assists per game, while shooting 41.1% from the field and 34% from three-point range. Although Herro is a more efficient scorer, Young's overall impact may give him the edge in this situation. The Miami Heat resisted the temptation to trade rookie big man Kel'el Ware during their failed chase for Kevin Durant. But if Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo becomes available, Bleacher Report's Grant Hughes says the Heat should waste no time and make Ware the centerpiece of their offer. Hughes laid out a potential trade that would send Antetokounmpo to Miami in a deal stacked with prospects and draft capital. Miami Heat receive Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee Bucks receive Kel'el Ware, Tyler Herro, Andrew Wiggins, 2027 first-round swap, 2029 first-round swap, 2030 first-round pick, 2031 first-round swap, 2032 first-round pick. If Giannis ultimately asks to be traded, the Heat could pounce with a pick-heavy offer that also includes Ware as the keeper alongside the necessary matching salary, Hughes wrote. Why Miami must consider it. For Miami, the chance to acquire Antetokounmpo is a franchise-altering opportunity. Pairing the two-time MVP with Bam Adebayo and Norman Powell would immediately give the Heat one of the most dynamic frontcourts in the NBA, creating a defensive nightmare and a versatile offensive core. Hughes noted that Ware is Miami's best tool to secure high-end talent after a strong rookie season. His per 36-minute averages, 15.1 points, 12 rebounds, 1.8 blocks, and nearly a made three-pointer, showed the 7-footer's potential as a modern big man. But there's also risk in holding on to him. Ware shot just 31.5% from three, and if that number doesn't improve, his value as a trade chip could drop. Add to that Ware's struggle with his motor, a known weakness of his entering the draft that has continued to hound him in the NBA. A big part of this is he has to really embrace and improve his professionalism, his consistency, his approach every single day, Heat coach Eric Spoelstra said of Ware in Las Vegas during the NBA Summer League in July. He has to get better with that. It's learning how to become a pro. Considering all of these, the Heat might want to act quickly, Hughes warned, arguing that Ware's current stock might be as high as it gets. Betting markets favor Heat. Sports Betting AG has the Heat firmly in the mix if Antetokounmpo's situation changes. Miami sits with a third-best odds, plus 500, to land the superstar, trailing only the New York Knicks, plus 100, and the San Antonio Spurs, plus 200. The Brooklyn Nets, plus 600, and Boston Celtics, plus 1,600, follow Miami in the top 5. That placement reflects Miami's long-standing reputation for star chasing. Pat Riley and the Heat front office have built a history of turning bold swings into franchise cornerstones, from LeBron James and Chris Bosh in 2010 to Jimmy Butler in 2019. Antetokounmpo could represent their next transformative move. Andrew Wiggins joined the Miami Heat as part of the deal that sent Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors. Wiggins, a former NBA champion, has 2 years remaining on his current $109 million deal, with the final year being a player option. It's that player option that could see the Heat trade Wiggins ahead of the February 2026 trade deadline. Currently, the franchise runs the risk of Wiggins opting out of his deal and hitting unrestricted free agency next summer. With that in mind, Mark Morales-Smith of Fantasy on SI has proposed a trade that could make sense for everyone involved. Morales-Smith envisions the Dallas Mavericks being the trade partner due to Wiggins' defensive upside and championship experience. The proposed deal would look like this. Miami Heat get Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, and a future first-round pick. Dallas Mavericks get Andrew Wiggins. If the Heat are determined to move off of Wiggins, this is a solid return, Morales Smith wrote. Gafford is a good center who averaged 12.3 and 6.8 last season. His presence at center is needed in Miami. He'd slide in nicely in their front court next to Bam Adebayo. Washington would be a direct replacement for Wiggins. Gafford, 26, would give Miami a stronger presence in the middle of the floor. Furthermore, he would provide rim protection and a much-needed lob threat on offense. Pairing him with Bam Adebayo in the front court would undoubtedly improve Miami's overall defense, too. The proposed Heat trade would work. When looking at proposed trades such as the one above, the most important thing is ensuring it's viable under league rules. When running this trade through Spotrac's trade machine, the trade idea is deemed a success. However, Miami would likely need to waive a player before finalizing the deal. Fortunately, that would mean that if Miami and Dallas were to consider a trade of this nature, they would need to include a third team. The more front offices you get involved in these types of negotiations, the harder it becomes to get an agreement that works for everyone involved. Gafford would be the star return for Miami. He's young enough to anchor the paint for the next 5, 6, or 7 years. Furthermore, he fits the current timeline along with Tyler Herro and Adebayo. Heat could target Russell Westbrook in free agency. Regardless of whether the Heat decides to make a deal like the one Morales Smith envisions, they could still look to add a veteran in free agency. That's why Andy Bailey of Bleacher Report believes the Heat could potentially rescue Russell Westbrook, who has been a free agent since leaving the Denver Nuggets earlier this summer. The Miami Heat's point guard rotation is largely populated by combo or shooting guards, Bailey wrote. Right now, it looks like Tyler Herro could be the starter at the one. Having a real, veteran point guard on the roster could stabilize a second unit that figures to include lots of younger talents like Jamie Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, and Davion Mitchell. Westbrook would help solve some of the Heat's issues at the point guard position. He would be a strong presence off the bench. Miami's second unit is considerably young and inexperienced. Adding a former MVP could be the ideal way to add some balance. Pat Riley has never shied away from acquiring aging talent. So, if Westbrook remains available in the coming weeks, Miami could emerge as the most logical landing spot.